Hello, everyone, children of God. This is Coach Rigo. And happy to be with you today, Sunday, April 19, 2026. And I'm trying to make a short video here to give you um, an overview of what the market is, the basics, candlesticks, what they are, how they are formed, and what we can make of them. It's going to be a really short video, and I intend to um, just demonstrate this so it could help somebody understand the candlestick patterns. And the first thing is you have to understand that the market has just two players, buyers and sellers. And if 100 items were bought, it also means that 100 items were sold. If there's nobody selling, then the buyers will simply not be able to do their transactions because there has to be the opposite side. Both sides have to agree for things to happen. And I like you to understand that in the market, every transaction is recorded. Every transaction, the transaction is a buy-sell agreement. All of them are recorded. And this is where candlesticks come about. What is a candlestick? Just imagine that you own a shop where you sell items. Let's say Apple. Let's just say the Apple stock is your personal shop and you're the one dealing with those stocks. So to come up with a candlestick, you have to pick a particular period of time, say today, one day. This is what we're calling a time frame. If you say 15 minutes, it will be a 15 minutes like you're looking on my chart right now. If I should say 15 minute, 4 hours, 1 month, that's simply what we call a time frame. Just imagine that today, which is one day, in other words, a daily time frame, you want to monitor all the transactions that happened in your shop today. So you get up in the morning, pick up your book. The very first transaction that happens, you write it down. Maybe you sell your first share or it transacts at $100 and then you write it down. Then along the way, this transaction, first of all, that you opened your shop, the first person that came to do a transaction was at 100. So we're going to call that the open. That's the opening price. The very first transaction that you did is 100. Now, you be in that shop and you're not selling this item for the same price. Some people can pay a lot more for the same item while some people can get it cheaper. Just imagine if you are in an African country and somebody says, I'm selling this item, you always bargain the price to get the best possible for you. So it's going to vary amongst traders. But imagine that during this period when the shop opened, let's say 6 a.m., that's when you opened your shop, and the first transaction you did, which we call the open, is $100. And then all the way till at the end, when your shop was closing, you had a closing price, which we'll call the close. And that close maybe was $300. Now, in between, during the time, now your shop has closed. Okay, you had an opening price. The first transaction you did as a shop opened that day, and the very last one, it was $100 and it was $300. And then you look throughout the day, and then you realize that the highest price at which a transaction happened maybe was 500. You just say, okay, the high that I sold something for was 500. And then you also look at your books to see the lowest at which you sold something, and that low happened to be, say, $50. So you have four basic prices written down. Everything else falls between these prices. This was the very first price that when you opened your shop, something sold for. This was the last price when you were about to close that shop. And in between, you can see that the person that you sold something at the highest possible price that day was $500. And the one that managed to get the cheapest was 50. So you have these 4 pieces of information. Every single candle in the market contains this. It doesn't matter what their shape is. This is it. Out of this, you might have done 1,000 transactions, but these 4 pieces are what you need to come out with a candlestick. So let's look at this. I'm going to make this a green candle, give it wicks, and I will explain exactly what these stand for. So make that upper wick, a lower wick right here. Okay, now the highest price that happened. So a candlestick is just a depiction of these 4 prices that happened during that period. The period under consideration here is 1 day. If you were dealing with 15 minutes, it will also be 15 minutes. The first transaction that happened in that 15 minutes, the last one, the highest one, and the lowest one that occurred during that time period, known as a time frame. If you're doing 1 month, it's the exact same thing. You still come out with a candle. So the highest price which happened was 500. We'll put that 500 at this top wick. So 500 right there. The low, which is the lowest price, will be down there, which is $50. Right there sits the low. And then now the open and the close. This is where the difference between a red candle and a green candle comes from. If when you just started, you opened your door to start transacting that day, the first transaction that you happened to do was 100. The last one was 300. It means that you started with a low transaction, but you ended with a high one. That's 100, and you ended with 300. As a result, the 100 is down on the bottom of the body, 100. And the close of the day, which is 300, will be this top part of the body right there, which is this 300. Essentially, this is what I'm saying, that this top body right here, reduce that, that's 300. This bottom of the body right there is 100. This wick is 50, that wick is 500. This candle will be colored green because this is the opening price, the first transaction of the day, being lower. It means that you started lower and you ended up higher. As a result, this is what you get. The price started low and it went up. So if you start low and you go up, we give it a green color. So once you see a green candle, know that price started at the lower part of the body and it ended up higher. This, in essence, means that buyers were stronger in the market during this period. Sellers were also present, but buyers had an upper hand. The market is always a battle between the two of them, buyers and sellers. On the other hand, if we, let's take the case of a red candle, what that will mean. Let's do this, make that a bit bigger to make it look even. Give it some wicks right there. So a red candle, on the other hand, the high is still the high. The high and the low never change positions. The high is the high, the low is the low. What changes is the open and the close. So if we open that shop and the very first transaction we do happens to be, say, 500, let's give it that 500. And then at the end of the day, when the market was closing, we sold something for, say, 300 instead. It means that we started with a higher price, but when we ended the market, it was a much lower price of 300. It tells us that we went lower. We started high, but we ended up lower. And as a result, this candle would take a red color because red color. This red now simply means that we started higher and we went down, as opposed to the green, which says we started lower and then we went up. Now, it is only telling us that during this particular period depicted by this candle, price started higher and ended lower. It does not necessarily tell us who won in the market. Be careful about that. It doesn't necessarily tell us who won in the market. Who won in the market is determined by sentiment, market sentiment. And I'll just touch that briefly while we're here. So on this candle, the highest price that happened during the day will still be here. I'll just put letter H here to mean the highest price that happened during this whole time period. If it's 1 day, 1 hour, 1 week, but the highest price will still be the highest. The low will still be the lowest. But the opening and the close compared to one another will determine the color of the candle. All right. We'll keep it brief right there. And then now let's talk briefly about the direction of the market, because a candle appearing this way does not necessarily tell you the direction of the market. So candle sentiment, who is winning? And now I will quickly do another candle right here. Now just imagine, let's give this candle a neutral color, just so it's not red, or I'll give it a gray color. Okay, turn it to that gray color, maybe darken it a little bit. So, right, this is a candle. So to know the real direction of the market, or to say that buyers are winning or sellers are winning, it has to be through candle sentiment. And that takes into account the entire range of that candle. And when we say the range of the candle, we're essentially talking about from the top wick down to the bottom wick. That is what I'm referring to as the range of the candle. In other words, that is from that top to that bottom. Okay. The color of the candle does not tell us who won or who did not win. So this is candle sentiment. It's simply candle sentiment which tells us who won or who did not win. And we do that by looking at the entire range of the candle from the top down to the bottom. And we're only concerned with the close, the candle, the closing price, not the opening price, not the high, not the low, but just the close of the candle, the closing price, which is exactly for the green will be this closing price, for the red will be this closing price here. That is what will tell us where the market is headed. So imagine this whole range of the candle from this bottom to the top as a piece of land that's available for grab between sellers who are sitting up there. And then imagine sellers will always be up. They always want high price. Buyers will always be down. They want things cheap all the time. So buyers are always fighting from below. Sellers are fighting from above. So they have to battle for this piece of land. If at the end of the day, buyers are able to come and draw the boundary line up there in this upper third, mind you, this thing I've put here, I've split it into 3 equal pieces. That's the upper third. I'll call it the upper 1/3. And then this is the middle 1/3. And then this is the lower 1/3 of the candle. So if at the end of the day, this sellers, a fight occurs, and this is where the boundaries ends up getting drawn. Therefore, this entire piece of land, sellers will only take that little portion right there, and then the buyers would have taken all of this big portion down. This and a portion of that upper third. If price closes anywhere up in this upper third, it means that the buyers have won the battle because they're able to take up all of this land, and now the boundary is all the way here. If the fight occurs and finishes anywhere in this middle third, then it's a tie. It's a neutral situation. neither the buyers nor the sellers won. It is an area of indecision. If the fight occurs and the finish line is down here, in other words, I'm talking about the closing price of that candle, happens to be in this lower third, it tells you that the sellers won because they pushed and occupied the entire land all the way here. And sellers can get just this little piece, or the buyers could even take all of it if it closes at the bottom. If the low is also the close. Over here, if the high is also the close, then sellers took everything. So that position is what determines where the closing price is what determines who is winning. Therefore, you can have a red candle, but buyers won. If it is as such, you have a red candle, I would color that red. You have a long wick, and then this is the red color. Although it's red, which you could easily associate it uh with selling, it is not. Take a look. It's a red candle. It closes on the lower part of the body. So, but it's in the upper third. So take a look. Buyers pushed and occupied all of this piece of land. It's red, but buyers won. So all we need is to see where the price closed in respect to the entire range of the candle. And that is what tells you who is winning on an individual candle. If you begin to group candles together, you have to look at the trend, the opposing candle, and see exactly where the market is headed. I hope that this is able to throw some more light and improve somebody's understanding of candle structures and candle sentiment. So if we begin to say the market is bullish, it is as a result of this because the buyers are bulls. If we say market is bullish, we're saying so because the price is in the upper third. That's where it closed. If we say a market is bearish, we're saying so because it closed in the lower third. And if we say the market is neutral, it is sideways or indecision, it is because it is in this middle area where we cannot clearly say that somebody is winning, buyers or sellers are winning. So if you go over to look at individual candles, the color should not be what make you pass judgment as to who is winning. It should be where the price closed. If you look at this candle, it closed down there. It is red. If you take roughly divide this candle into three pieces, it will be around the lower part. That's where this candle will be bearish. But you could as well get this one sitting here. That candle is not bearish, even though it is red. Large, zoom in. This is a red candle, but buyers won. It's on the upper third area. This is a bullish candle also. This is a bullish candle, and I'm only saying so based on the closing price. Green candles close on the upper part of the body, red candles lower part of the body. Then this is a bearish candle by where price close. Let's see if I get a green candle that it doesn't matter. You can call those dojis, morning stars, any of that. None of that changes candle structure. The structure is what it is. And then this, I'm trying to get a green candle that happens to be bearish. I might not see one here. But if you look at this, think about this candle. It closes here. If you split this candle into three pieces, you can figure out it might be a neutral candle. But my hope is that this improves your understanding of the candle structure, and I'll be really happy to give you more information about this. All right. I hope to catch you another time. Thank you.